For hundreds of millions of years, long before the first forests took root or the earliest dinosaurs walked the land, sharks have ruled the oceans. Their story is not just one of survival, but of relentless transformation and adaptation, written in the currents and the deep blue silence of the sea. These are the ocean's most enduring predators, ancient mariners whose ancestors first appeared in the primordial seas over 400 million years ago. Their lineage stretches back to a time when the world was unrecognizable and the seas teemed with life forms now long extinct. When we envision sharks, we often see the sleek silhouette of a great white or the unmistakable dorsal fin slicing through the water. But the reality is far more complex and fascinating. Sharks are a tapestry of diversity, over 500 species, each uniquely adapted to their environment, from the shadowy depths to the sunlit shallows. Far from being mindless hunters, sharks display remarkable intelligence and complex behaviors. They navigate intricate reef systems, communicate through body language, and even form social groups, revealing a hidden world of interaction beneath the waves. Their story is etched in stone, fossilized teeth and vertebrae scattered across ancient seabeds, silent witnesses to the rise and fall of continents and the shifting of ocean currents. Through epochs of dramatic change, from ice ages to mass extinctions, sharks have endured. Their resilience is legendary, their ability to adapt nothing short of extraordinary. Picture the ancient oceans, vast, mysterious, and teeming with life. As continents drifted and collided, sharks evolved alongside the ever-changing seascape, their forms shifting to meet new challenges. They have witnessed the birth of mountains, the opening and closing of seas, and the relentless march of evolution. Through it all, sharks have remained, adapting and thriving as the world transformed around them. Some ancient sharks grew to monstrous sizes, like the legendary megalodon, whose jaws could engulf a small car. Others were nimble hunters, darting through coral forests or lurking in the twilight zone, each species a marvel of evolutionary engineering. From the frigid starlit waters beneath polar ice to the kaleidoscopic reefs of the tropics, sharks have conquered every marine realm. Some glide silently through the abyss, while others patrol the bustling shallows, each perfectly suited to its domain. The fossil record is a chronicle of their journey: giant teeth, spiral jaws, and armored scales, each relic a chapter in the saga of shark evolution. Some species, like the megalodon, dwarfed anything alive today, while others were no larger than a human hand, each filling a unique niche in the ancient seas. Today, this diversity remains one of their greatest strengths. Hammerheads, threshers, goblin sharks, and more, each is a testament to the power of adaptation. Sharks are not a single entity, but a vast family tree, with branches that reach into every corner of the ocean. Each species is a specialist, honed by millions of years of evolution to thrive in its own way. Their skeletons are a marvel, built not from heavy bone, but from tough, flexible cartilage. This unique structure gives them unmatched agility and speed, allowing them to twist, turn, and accelerate with breathtaking precision. This evolutionary innovation has made sharks some of the most efficient hunters in the sea, able to pursue prey with explosive bursts of power, or glide effortlessly for hours on end. Over the eons, sharks have been sculpted by natural selection into an astonishing array of forms, each perfectly suited to its environment and way of life. Their journey is one of constant innovation, adapting to new habitats, evolving new hunting strategies, and seizing every opportunity the ocean provides. While entire dynasties of animals have come and gone, sharks have endured, outlasting the dinosaurs and surviving every mass extinction that has swept the planet. Yet today, these ancient survivors face unprecedented threats. Overfishing, habitat destruction, and pollution are pushing many species to the edge, challenging their resilience as never before. The world they once ruled is changing at a pace never seen in their long history. The balance of the oceans is shifting, and the fate of sharks now hangs in the balance. The next chapter in the story of sharks is being written now, in the swirling depths and the storm-tossed waves. Their journey through time is far from over, and its outcome will shape the future of the oceans themselves. For over 400 million years, sharks have ruled the oceans, not by brute force alone, but by evolving a toolkit of adaptations so refined, so specialized, that they are the envy of the animal kingdom. Every part of a shark's body is a testament to nature's engineering, each feature honed for survival in a world where only the most efficient endure. Sharks are not just predators. They are the ultimate product of evolutionary innovation. Their bodies are built for mastery of the marine world, equipped with a suite of senses and physical tools that allow them to perceive, hunt, and survive in ways that defy our imagination. Take their skin, for example. At first glance, it appears smooth, but under magnification, it's a landscape of millions of dermal denticles, tiny, tooth-like scales, each one shaped to channel water efficiently. These denticles reduce drag and turbulence, allowing sharks to glide with minimal resistance. The unique pattern of these scales even inhibits the growth of algae and parasites, keeping the shark's body streamlined and healthy. This is not just protection, it's a living suit of armor, a hydrodynamic marvel that lets them move with silent, lethal grace. This stealth is a critical weapon. Sharks can approach their prey with almost no warning, their bodies slicing through the water with barely a ripple. Their flexible skeleton, made of cartilage rather than bone, gives them agility and speed, allowing for sudden bursts of movement and tight turns that would be impossible for most fish. Their sense of smell is legendary, and for good reason. Specialized olfactory organs, located in paired nostrils beneath the snout, can detect a single drop of blood in millions of gallons of water. This acute sensitivity is due to a vast array of olfactory lamellae, thin, folded membranes that maximize surface area for scent detection. Sharks can analyze the direction and concentration of a scent trail, allowing them to home in on wounded prey from miles away, even in the most complex ocean currents. But their sensory arsenal doesn't stop there. Along each side of their body runs the lateral line, a network of fluid-filled canals lined with sensory cells. This system detects the faintest vibrations and pressure changes in the water, alerting the shark to the movements of nearby animals, the approach of predators, or even the subtle shifts of ocean currents. It's a sixth sense for movement, giving sharks a three-dimensional awareness of their environment, even in total darkness or murky water. Perhaps the most astonishing adaptation is their ability to sense electricity. Scattered across their snout are the ampullae of Lorenzini, tiny jelly-filled pores that detect the faint electrical fields produced by the muscle contractions of living creatures. This sense is so refined that a shark can locate prey hidden beneath sand, guided only by the electrical pulse of a beating heart. For species like the hammerhead, whose wide head is packed with thousands of these sensors, the ocean floor becomes a living map of hidden animals, each one broadcasting its presence through invisible signals. Their eyes are another marvel. Many sharks possess a reflective layer behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum, which amplifies available light and gives them exceptional vision in the dim blue twilight of the deep sea. Their ears, though hidden, are finely tuned to pick up low-frequency sounds, like the thrashing of an injured fish, over vast distances. Every sense is sharpened, every adaptation a tool for survival. This complete sensory suite has allowed sharks to conquer every ocean on Earth. From the sunlit shallows of coral reefs to the pitch-black depths of the abyss, from icy polar waters to tropical lagoons, sharks adapt their toolkit to thrive in the most challenging environments. Each species is a specialist, perfectly tuned to its ecological niche. Sharks are not simply inhabitants of the ocean, they are its most sophisticated navigators, reading its invisible signals, breathing its currents, and thriving in its every corner. Their toolkit is a masterpiece of evolution, a collection of adaptations so intricate and effective that we are only beginning to understand their full potential. In the world of extreme sharks, every sense, every structure, every movement is a testament to the power of nature's design. The Atlantic Ocean is a vast and ever-changing stage, stretching from the frozen reaches of the Arctic to the sun-drenched expanse of the Antarctic. This immense body of water is a world of contrasts, where temperature, light, and pressure shift dramatically across thousands of miles, creating a realm of extremes that only the most adaptable creatures can call home. Here sharks have evolved into a dazzling array of forms, each uniquely suited to the challenges of their environment. From the sunlit shallows to the pitch-black abyss, these predators have developed extraordinary behaviors and adaptations to survive in one of the planet's most demanding habitats. In the warm, crystalline waters of the Caribbean reef shark reigns supreme. With its streamlined, torpedo-shaped body, this shark is a master of speed and precision, gliding effortlessly over vibrant coral gardens. Its pointed snout and sharply defined dorsal fin slice through the water, allowing it to maneuver with astonishing agility. This is a predator built for the chase, capable of sudden bursts of speed to ambush prey hiding among the coral branches. The Caribbean reef shark's daily patrol is a ballet of power and grace. It weaves through the labyrinth of coral, using its keen senses to detect the faintest electrical signals from hidden fish and crustaceans, a silent hunter in a world of color and light. But the Atlantic is not defined by warmth alone. As the waters turn colder and the skies grow grey, a different world emerges, one of darkness, ice, and relentless cold. In the shadowy depths of the Arctic, the Greenland shark drifts through the frigid gloom. This ancient mariner is a living relic, perfectly adapted to a world where temperatures plunge below freezing and sunlight barely penetrates the icy surface. The Greenland shark's slow, deliberate movements are a testament to its energy-saving lifestyle. In these cold, oxygen-rich waters, it glides almost imperceptibly, conserving energy for the long, lean hunt. Its blood is laced with natural antifreeze proteins, a biochemical marvel that prevents its tissues from freezing solid. This adaptation allows the Greenland shark to thrive where few other large predators can survive. In the crushing depths, the Greenland shark lives life in slow motion. Its metabolism is so sluggish that it can go months without a meal, scavenging on whatever the deep sea provides. This slow pace is the secret to its extraordinary longevity. Some individuals have been gliding through these waters for centuries. Scientists have discovered Greenland sharks that are over 400 years old, silent witnesses to the changing tides of history, their bodies bearing the scars of centuries spent in the deep. These sharks do not reach maturity until they are around 150 years old, making each generation a rare and precious event. Their survival is intricately linked to the stability of their icy world, a habitat now threatened by a warming climate. In stark contrast, the shallow mangrove forests of the Bahamas offer a sanctuary teeming with life. Here the water is warm and brackish, the tangled roots forming a labyrinth that shelters the ocean's youngest predators. Lemon shark juveniles glide between the roots, their golden bodies perfectly camouflaged against the dappled sunlight. These nurseries are bustling with activity, a training ground where young sharks hone their hunting skills and learn the rhythms of the tides. Here the young sharks stalk small fish and crustaceans, darting in and out of the tangled roots. Every movement is a lesson in survival, every shadow a potential threat or opportunity. Lemon sharks are surprisingly social, forming loose groups and engaging in subtle displays of dominance and cooperation. These early bonds and rivalries shape their future as apex predators. Yet these vital nurseries are vanishing, cleared for development and left to erode. As the mangroves disappear, so too does the safe haven for the next generation of sharks, leaving them exposed to predators and the open sea before they are ready. The fate of these young sharks is inseparable from the fate of the mangroves. Without these tangled forests, the delicate balance of life in the Atlantic is thrown into chaos. Beyond the mangroves, the Atlantic's seagrass beds and open waters host a different cast of characters. Stingrays bury themselves in the sand, while pelagic sharks cruise the endless blue, covering vast distances in search of prey. Near the surface, the world's largest fish, the whale shark, gathers in spectacular aggregations off the coast of Mexico. These gentle giants filter feed on clouds of tuna eggs, their massive mouths scooping up thousands of tiny morsels with each pass. In the open ocean, the oceanic white-tip shark patrols the blue desert. Bold and inquisitive, it is a relentless wanderer, using its broad pectoral fins to glide for days without rest. Yet this once abundant species now faces a perilous future, its numbers decimated by relentless fishing. Each shark species in the Atlantic tells a story of adaptation and survival, from the social learning of lemon sharks to the ancient endurance of the Greenland shark. From the acrobatic hunters of the reefs to the giants of the open sea, these predators embody the relentless drive to survive in a world of extremes. The Atlantic is not just an ocean, it is a living laboratory where evolution never rests and the drama of survival unfolds every day. In the vast, restless waters of the Atlantic, some of the ocean's most extraordinary giants and elusive phantoms roam. Among these, the great hammerhead stands as a true titan, an apex predator whose presence shapes the very fabric of its marine world. With a body that can stretch beyond 6 meters, the great hammerhead is not only the largest of its kind, but also one of the most enigmatic. Its unmistakable silhouette, crowned by a wide, flattened cephalofoil, is more than a visual marvel. This unique head structure is a masterpiece of evolution, housing an array of electroreceptors known as the ampullae of Lorenzini. These specialized organs allow the hammerhead to detect the faintest electrical signals emitted by hidden prey, such as stingrays buried beneath the sand. The great hammerhead's hunting prowess is matched only by its ecological importance. By preying on other predators, it maintains a delicate balance within the Atlantic's complex food web, ensuring the health and diversity of the ecosystem. Yet not all giants of the Atlantic are hunters. In the cooler, plankton-rich waters, the basking shark glides with serene majesty. Reaching lengths of up to 12 meters, it is the second-largest fish on the planet, surpassed only by the whale shark. Unlike its predatory cousins, the basking shark is a gentle filter feeder, swimming with its cavernous mouth agape to sieve countless microscopic plankton from the water. Despite their size, basking sharks remain shrouded in mystery. They are often seen alone or in small groups, sometimes swimming in synchronized pairs, a behavior believed to be linked to courtship. Much of their life, including their breeding and birthing grounds, remains hidden in the ocean's depths, far from human eyes. In the open, sunlit expanses of the Atlantic, another rare giant once reigned supreme, the oceanic white-tip. With its long, rounded fins tipped in white, this shark was once among the most abundant large predators in tropical and subtropical waters. Its reputation as a bold and inquisitive explorer of the pelagic zone is legendary. The oceanic white-tip's survival strategy is one of patience and curiosity. It conserves energy by cruising slowly through the open ocean, relying on acute senses to detect the faintest traces of potential prey. This relentless search for food once made it a dominant force in the Atlantic's blue deserts, but the very curiosity that once ensured its survival has now become its greatest vulnerability. Drawn to floating objects and fishing vessels, the oceanic white-tip is frequently caught as bycatch on long lines set for other species. This relentless pressure has driven its numbers to the brink. In the western Atlantic, populations of the oceanic white-tip have plummeted by a staggering 98%, rendering it critically endangered. Only in protected sanctuaries, such as the crystal-clear waters of the Bahamas, do these sharks still glide with confidence. their future hanging in a fragile balance. Here, in these rare sanctuaries, pregnant females find refuge, their bodies heavy with the next generation. The sight of a mature oceanic whitetip, her form outlined by shafts of sunlight, is both a symbol of hope and a stark reminder of what has been lost elsewhere. The Atlantic's giants and ghosts, great hammerhead, basking shark, and oceanic whitetip, each represent a unique evolutionary path, from the precision hunter to the gentle giant and the wandering phantom. Their stories are woven into the tapestry of the ocean, each species playing a vital role in the health of this vast ecosystem. Yet their continued existence is threatened by the relentless advance of human activity. To witness these rare and massive sharks is to glimpse the wild heart of the Atlantic, a world of power, mystery, and fragile beauty, now more than ever in need of our respect and protection. The Indian Ocean, the warmest of all the world's oceans, is a vast expanse bordered by continents and islands, its waters teeming with life. But beneath its shimmering surface, profound changes are underway, changes that are reshaping the very fabric of the shark world. The relentless rise in ocean temperatures, the spread of pollution, and the depletion of fish stocks have created a crucible of environmental stress. These forces are not just abstract threats, they are daily realities for the sharks that call these waters home. For sharks, every day is a test of survival. The once familiar rhythms of the sea are shifting. Water temperatures fluctuate unpredictably, and the chemical balance of the ocean is altered by runoff and waste, challenging sharks' finely tuned senses. Off South Africa's coast, the legendary sardine run unfolds, a breathtaking migration that has for millennia been a cornerstone of the marine ecosystem. Here, vast shoals of sardines draw in a multitude of shark species, each one relying on this seasonal bounty to fuel their migrations and reproductive cycles. In a display of raw power and precision, sharks coordinate with other predators, driving sardines into dense bait balls. The water churns with energy as they launch synchronized attacks, each movement honed by generations of instinct. Yet, this spectacle is growing increasingly rare. The currents that once guided the sardines are shifting, their paths disrupted by warming seas and altered wind patterns. The cold, nutrient-rich upwellings that once fueled the sardine run are weakening. As the ocean's temperature rises, these vital currents are diverted or dissipate entirely, leaving the sardines and the sharks that depend on them adrift. In recent years, the sardine run has failed altogether, leaving sharks to patrol empty waters. Their keen senses evolved to detect the faintest trace of prey, now find only silence and scarcity. The consequences are immediate and severe. Sharks, deprived of their annual feast, show signs of stress, thinner bodies, erratic movements, and increased competition for dwindling resources. The disruption ripples outward, destabilizing the entire food web. When a keystone event like the sardine run falters, every predator and prey in the ecosystem feels the impact. Sharks are forced to adapt. Some roam farther, venturing into unfamiliar territories in search of food. Others alter their hunting strategies, becoming more opportunistic and aggressive. But adaptation comes at a cost. The modern ocean is littered with hazards, plastic debris, abandoned fishing gear, and chemical pollutants. Sharks must navigate a gauntlet of dangers that their ancestors never faced. Some species display remarkable resilience. Their behaviors shift in subtle ways. Altered migration routes, new hunting grounds, and even changes in social structure as they respond to the evolving seascape. The tiger shark, a formidable predator, has become a symbol of adaptability. In the Maldives, these sharks have learned to exploit new food sources, capitalizing on the shifting dynamics of their environment. They patrol the turquoise shallows, their senses attuned to the faintest scent of opportunity. In a world of uncertainty, their ability to adjust is a testament to the resilience of their kind. Pregnant females in particular benefit from these new food sources, securing vital nutrients for their developing young. The next generation of sharks is shaped by these environmental shifts, their survival intertwined with the changing ocean. The discarded remains of the sea become lifelines, sustaining sharks through lean times. Each meal is a lesson in adaptation, a story of survival written in the currents and tides. As dawn breaks over the Indian Ocean, sharks glide through the warming waters, their future uncertain, but their determination undiminished. The fate of many shark species is intimately tied to the health of coral reefs. These vibrant underwater cities provide shelter, hunting grounds, and nurseries for countless marine creatures. The tawny nurse shark, a nocturnal specialist, prowls the reef after dark. With powerful suction, it extracts snails and crabs from their hiding places, relying on the intricate structure of the coral for both food and protection. The tasseled wobbegong, master of disguise, lies motionless on the reef, its fringed body blending seamlessly with the coral. It waits in ambush, a patient predator perfectly adapted to its environment. But the reefs themselves are under siege. Rising temperatures trigger mass bleaching events, stripping corals of their color and vitality. The once thriving habitat becomes a graveyard, its intricate architecture collapsing. Sharks that depend on the reef are left adrift, their hunting grounds reduced to barren wastelands. The loss of coral spells disaster for these specialists, forcing them to search farther and riskier territories. The destiny of these sharks is inseparable from the fate of the reef. As the environment transforms, so too must the sharks, adapting, evolving, and enduring in a world of constant change. The Pacific Ocean, an endless, rolling expanse of sapphire, stretches further than the eye can see, its depths plunging to the very heart of the planet. This is the largest and deepest ocean on Earth, a realm so vast it could swallow all the continents and still have room to spare. Within this immense blue wilderness, life flourishes in forms both familiar and extraordinary. Among the Pacific's most iconic residents is the blue shark, Prionas glauca, a true marvel of evolution. Sleek, streamlined, and built for speed, the blue shark is instantly recognizable by its slender body, impossibly long pectoral fins, and vibrant indigo coloration that seems to merge with the ocean itself. The Pacific's swirling currents bring life from the abyss to the sunlit shallows, fueling blooms of plankton that form the foundation of a colossal food web. Here, blue sharks patrol the open water, their senses finely tuned to detect the faintest trace of prey. Blue sharks are true pelagic wanderers, often found far from land, yet drawn to underwater mountains and volcanic islands like Cocos, where upwellings create rich hunting grounds. In these nutrient-rich waters, blue sharks share the stage with giants, whale sharks, hammerheads, and vast schools of fish. But the blue shark's hunting style is unique. It relies on agility and endurance, able to travel thousands of kilometers in search of food. With eyes adapted to the dim blue light of the open ocean, blue sharks can spot the glint of a fish scale or the flicker of a squid from remarkable distances. Their vision, combined with an acute sense of smell, makes them formidable hunters. Scientists believe blue sharks use subtle gradients in temperature and salinity to navigate the vast Pacific, tracing invisible highways that connect distant feeding and breeding grounds. These sharks are among the most migratory of all, capable of crossing entire ocean basins. They often travel in loose groups, especially juveniles, using floating debris and sargassum as waypoints in the endless blue. Occasionally, blue sharks visit cleaning stations, where tiny fish remove parasites from their skin and gills, a vital service in the open ocean, where health is the key to survival. This delicate partnership is a testament to the interconnectedness of ocean life, where even the largest predators rely on the smallest creatures for their well-being. For the blue shark, these moments are like a pit stop in a marathon journey, brief respites before returning to the endless blue. Yet the Pacific is not without peril. Industrial fishing fleets crisscross these waters, their long lines stretching for miles, an invisible gauntlet for blue sharks and countless other species. Over 90% of the Pacific remains unprotected, and blue sharks are among the most frequently caught sharks in the world, prized for their fins and meat. Their numbers have declined sharply in recent decades. Scientists are racing to understand the blue shark's migratory routes, tagging individuals to reveal their secret journeys across the Pacific. These data are vital for designing marine protected areas that safeguard not just isolated hotspots, but the vast corridors these sharks travel. One such corridor is the Cocos-Galapagos Swimway, a chain of underwater mountains that may serve as a superhighway for blue sharks and other pelagic species, linking distant islands across the open sea. By proving these routes exist, conservationists hope to create protected swimways, safe passages that allow blue sharks to complete their epic migrations unimpeded. In the remote coral atolls of French Polynesia, blue sharks sometimes appear at the edge of the reef, drawn by the abundance of life and the promise of a meal. During mass spawning events, blue sharks join the spectacle, weaving through clouds of fish and other predators, their presence a reminder of the ocean's intricate balance. With lightning speed, blue sharks exploit the chaos, darting into bait balls and snatching prey with needle-sharp teeth. Their jaws are lined with rows of serrated teeth perfectly adapted for gripping slippery fish and squid. Though often solitary, blue sharks sometimes gather in large numbers, especially where food is abundant. These aggregations are not chaotic, but display a remarkable order, with each shark maintaining its own space in the swirling ballet. Scientists have observed blue sharks displaying coordinated hunting tactics, herding schools of fish and taking turns to strike, evidence of intelligence and social complexity in these enigmatic predators. Blue sharks are also opportunists, using their long, flexible snouts to probe beneath floating debris or sargassum, flushing out hidden prey with surprising dexterity. These behaviors reveal a hidden world of social interaction and intelligence, challenging our perceptions of sharks as mindless hunters. In the endless blue of the Pacific, the blue shark reigns as a master of survival, an elegant, enigmatic predator perfectly adapted to life in the planet's greatest wilderness. The Pacific Ocean, stretching across a third of our planet, is a realm of endless blue that has fostered the evolution of some of the most extraordinary and specialized sharks on Earth. Its sheer scale and diversity of habitats, from tangled kelp forests to sprawling coral reefs, have given rise to rare behaviors and remarkable adaptations found nowhere else. In the shadowy kelp forests off California's coast, a small, elusive shark glides silently among the swaying fronds. By day, it remains hidden, blending perfectly with the dappled light and tangled vegetation. But as night falls, this unassuming predator reveals a secret that sets it apart from almost all other sharks. The swell shark possesses the rare ability of biofluorescence. When bathed in the ocean's blue light, its skin absorbs the energy and re-emits it as a vivid emerald green glow. This phenomenon is invisible to the human eye, but under ultraviolet light, the shark's body becomes a living lantern, pulsing with color in the darkness. To other swell sharks, this glowing display is unmistakable. Scientists believe it forms a hidden language, a visual code that allows individuals to identify one another, signal readiness to mate, or even establish territory, all in a world where sunlight barely penetrates. In the inky blackness, these sharks communicate with intricate patterns of light, their bodies flickering with secret messages. This adaptation is not just beautiful, it's essential for survival in a habitat where vision is limited and predators lurk unseen. The kelp forests themselves serve as nurseries. Here, swell sharks lay their eggs in cleverly camouflaged cases, tucking them among the kelp's holdfasts, The young develop in safety, shielded from predators by the dense waving forest. Yet these vital habitats are vanishing. In some regions, warming waters have decimated kelp forests by over 90%, leaving behind barren seascapes where once there was shelter and abundance. Thousands of miles away on the sunlit flats of Australia's Great Barrier Reef, another marvel of shark evolution unfolds. A shark that has learned to walk. The epaulet shark, slender and agile, navigates the labyrinth of coral and tide pools with astonishing skill. Its world is one of shifting tides and fleeting opportunities. When the tide recedes, the shark often finds itself stranded in shallow pools, cut off from the open sea. But instead of succumbing to the elements, it displays a rare and remarkable behavior. Using its muscular, paddle-like fins, the epaulet shark literally walks across the exposed reef, propelling itself from one pool to the next. This adaptation allows it to hunt for trapped prey, crustaceans, small fish, and invertebrates, while other predators are left behind. Even more extraordinary, the epaulet shark can survive for up to an hour out of water. By slowing its heart rate and reducing its oxygen needs, it endures conditions that would be fatal to almost any other shark, exploiting a niche that is uniquely its own. This is evolution at its most inventive, a shark that has mastered both land and sea, thriving where few others can. The Great Barrier Reef itself stands as a living testament to the power of protection. Its vibrant corals and bustling marine life are the result of decades of careful stewardship. As a sanctuary for over 40 years, the reef has become a haven for an astonishing array of species, including some of the world's rarest sharks. Here, the ocean's natural balance is on full display, a glimpse into what a truly healthy marine ecosystem can achieve. In these protected waters, sharks do more than survive. They flourish, their populations stable, and their behaviors undisturbed. Along the Pacific's rim, in the shadowy shallows of Mossel Bay, juvenile great white sharks display another rare adaptation: nocturnal hunting. These young hunters have learned to exploit the artificial glow of city lights. By positioning themselves between the shore and their prey, they use the backlighting to silhouette seals against the surface, extending their hunting hours deep into the night. This innovative strategy reveals a level of intelligence and adaptability that is rarely seen in the animal kingdom. Even at a young age, these sharks are capable of learning and responding to new challenges in their environment. The Pacific's walking, glowing, and night-hunting sharks are living proof that these creatures are anything but primitive. Each one is a master of its environment, equipped with rare abilities that defy expectations. Their eyes reflect a keen intelligence, and their behaviors, whether glowing in the dark, striding across coral, or hunting by city light, are the result of millions of years of evolution. Each species has carved out a unique existence in the vast Pacific, perfectly attuned to its chosen habitat. But this specialization comes at a cost. As their habitats change or disappear, these sharks face unprecedented challenges. A shark that relies on the shelter of kelp forests cannot survive when those forests are gone. A shark that depends on vibrant coral reefs is left vulnerable when bleaching strips the reef of life. Their astonishing adaptations are inseparable from the health of their homes. As the Pacific changes, so too does the fate of its most remarkable sharks. For over 400 million years, sharks have reigned as the apex predators of the ocean, adapting to shifting continents, mass extinctions, and dramatic climate upheavals. Their evolutionary resilience is legendary, yet today they face a convergence of threats more complex and relentless than anything in their ancient past. The most immediate and devastating danger is industrial-scale overfishing. Massive fleets sweep the oceans with kilometre-long nets and endless lines bristling with hooks, removing sharks from the ecosystem at a rate their populations cannot withstand. Each year, an estimated 100 million sharks are killed, many for their fins, which are prized in certain cuisines. The removal of these top predators disrupts the delicate balance of marine food webs, leading to cascading effects throughout the ecosystem. Yet, the majority of shark deaths are not intentional. Sharks are frequently ensnared as bycatch, unintended victims of fishing gear designed for other species. Long lines and trawl nets indiscriminately capture sharks alongside tuna, swordfish, and countless other marine animals. For slow-growing, late-maturing sharks like the oceanic whitetip and the great hammerhead, this relentless pressure is catastrophic. These species reproduce infrequently, making population recovery nearly impossible once numbers fall. As a result, shark populations are plummeting worldwide. In some regions, once abundant species have vanished entirely, leaving behind empty seascapes and altered ecosystems. Habitat loss compounds these dangers. Mangrove forests, vital nurseries for young sharks, are being cleared at an alarming rate. Coral reefs, the bustling metropolises of the sea, are bleaching and dying as ocean temperatures rise, depriving sharks of shelter and hunting grounds. Kelp forests, once thick with life, are vanishing due to warming waters and pollution. Without these habitats, sharks lose critical breeding grounds and safe havens for their young, further jeopardizing their survival. Pollution is an insidious, ever-present threat. Oceans are inundated with plastic debris, chemical runoff, and toxic waste, all of which infiltrate the marine food chain. Microplastics, invisible to the naked eye, are consumed by plankton, then by small fish, and ultimately by sharks. These particles accumulate in shark tissues, causing internal injuries and introducing harmful chemicals that can disrupt growth, reproduction, and immune function. The ingestion of plastics and toxins is a silent killer, weakening sharks from within and making them more vulnerable to disease and environmental stress. Ghost nets, lost or discarded fishing gear, drift through the ocean, ensnaring sharks and other marine life in a deadly embrace. These nets can persist for decades, creating invisible traps that kill indiscriminately. Climate change amplifies every threat. Rising sea temperatures force sharks and their prey to migrate into unfamiliar waters, disrupting ancient patterns and exposing them to new dangers. The iconic sardine run, once a reliable feast, is now unpredictable, leaving sharks to search farther and riskier for food. Ocean acidification, driven by excess carbon dioxide, weakens coral skeletons and dissolves the very foundations of reef ecosystems. In the far north, melting sea ice transforms the Arctic, threatening the ancient Greenland shark and the intricate web of life it supports. The cumulative effect of these pressures is staggering. Over 30% of all shark and ray species are now threatened with extinction, according to the IUCN Red List. Some, like the sawfish and angel shark, teeter on the very edge of disappearance. Yet sharks are not without defenses. Their keen senses, migratory instincts, and adaptability have allowed them to survive for eons. Some species are shifting their ranges, seeking cooler waters or deeper habitats. Others alter their breeding cycles or feeding strategies in response to changing conditions. Deep-sea sharks retreat to the twilight zone where human impact is less severe. Juveniles seek refuge in seagrass beds and hidden coves, using camouflage and stealth to evade predators and threats. Their extraordinary electroreception helps them locate prey and avoid danger, while their agility and speed allow some to escape entanglement or predation. But even these remarkable adaptations are being tested as never before. The ultimate survivors now face a future more uncertain than ever. The horizon is clouded with threats, but the story of sharks is not yet finished. Their fate, and the fate of the oceans, depends on our willingness to understand, respect, and protect these ancient guardians of the deep. The fate of sharks hangs in the balance, teetering between irreversible loss and the hope of recovery. The oceans are at a crossroads, and the choices we make today will echo for generations. Across the globe, dedicated scientists and conservationists are working tirelessly to reverse the decline of shark populations. Their efforts are grounded in rigorous research, innovative policy, and a deep respect for the intricate web of marine life. The establishment of vast marine protected areas, true sanctuaries for sharks, stands as a testament to what is possible when science and policy unite. These protected zones are not just lines on a map. They are living laboratories where nature is given the space to heal. In places like the Bahamas, the Maldives, and Palau, entire national waters have been declared off-limits to shark fishing. These bold decisions have transformed once-threatened habitats into thriving refuges, where sharks can fulfill their ecological roles without fear of exploitation. In the Maldives, the ripple effects of protection are clear. Reef mantas, close relatives of sharks, now gather in record numbers, their population the largest ever recorded. This resurgence is a living indicator of what effective conservation can achieve. Within these sanctuaries, shark populations rebound, restoring balance to entire ecosystems. The presence of apex predators signals a healthy, resilient ocean, one capable of withstanding the pressures of a changing world. Yet the ocean is not a patchwork of isolated safe zones. Sharks are great travelers, crossing vast distances between reefs, seamounts, and open water. Their survival depends on the protection of these migratory routes, lifelines that connect the ocean's most vital habitats. Cutting-edge research is illuminating these underwater highways. By tagging species like the scalloped hammerhead, scientists are mapping the invisible paths that sharks have followed for millennia, revealing the true scale of their journeys. Satellite tracking and genetic analysis are revolutionizing our understanding of shark migration. These tools provide irrefutable evidence of the need for international cooperation, as sharks cross boundaries that exist only on human maps. Armed with this data, advocates are persuading governments to establish protected corridors in the open ocean. These corridors are essential, ensuring that sharks are safeguarded not just at their destinations, but throughout their epic migrations. The future of sharks depends on our ability to connect these sanctuaries, creating a network of protection that spans the globe. Only then can we secure the full life cycle of these ancient mariners. But conservation is not just the work of scientists and policymakers. It is a collective responsibility, rooted in the choices we make and the values we uphold. We must shift our perception of sharks, from misunderstood predators to vital guardians of the sea. Their intelligence, social complexity, and evolutionary success demand our respect, not our fear. As apex predators, sharks regulate the health of marine ecosystems. By preying on the weak and the sick, they prevent disease outbreaks and maintain the delicate balance of the food web. The ripple effects of healthy shark populations are profound. Coral reefs flourish, fish stocks remain stable, and the ocean's natural cycles continue undisturbed. Our own survival is intertwined with theirs, from the oxygen we breathe to the food we harvest from the sea. Responsible ecotourism offers a sustainable path forward. When managed with care, it provides vital funding for conservation and transforms sharks into ambassadors for the ocean's wonders. The economic value of a living shark far exceeds that of a dead one. Over its lifetime, a single shark can generate income for local communities, supporting livelihoods and fostering a culture of stewardship. Every action counts. By supporting science-based conservation, advocating for stronger protections and spreading awareness, we become part of a global movement to safeguard the future of sharks. As consumers, we wield immense power. Choosing sustainable seafood, rejecting products that harm sharks, and demanding transparency from suppliers sends a clear message. The era of shark exploitation must end. Reducing plastic pollution is another critical step. Plastics choke marine life and disrupt food chains, threatening sharks at every stage of their lives. By minimizing our plastic footprint, we help restore the ocean's health. Supporting frontline conservation organizations amplifies our impact. These groups drive research, restore habitats, and advocate for policies that protect sharks and the broader marine environment. Education is the foundation of lasting change. By learning the facts and sharing them widely, we replace fear with understanding and inspire the next generation to become ocean's stewards. For over 400 million years, sharks have shaped the seas, surviving mass extinctions and adapting to every challenge. Their story is one of resilience and mastery. To lose them now at the hands of human indifference would be a tragedy beyond measure, a break in the chain of life that sustains us all. The responsibility is ours. Let us rise to the challenge not as conquerors of the ocean, but as its guardians. The future of sharks and the health of our planet depends on what we do next. Beneath the rolling surface of the ocean, where sunlight fades into shadow, sharks navigate a world invisible to human eyes. Their mastery of the seas is not just a matter of strength or speed. It is rooted in a suite of sensory superpowers honed over eons of evolution. At the heart of this arsenal lies the ability to sense the invisible, the faintest electrical fields that ripple through salt water. Along the shark's snout, hundreds of tiny pores, known as the ampullae of Lorenzini, form a living constellation of sensors. These electroreceptors allow sharks to detect the electric pulses generated by the beating hearts and twitching muscles of hidden prey. Even the subtle bioelectric signature of a buried fish is enough to draw a shark closer, guided by signals that pass unnoticed by every other creature. But the electrical sense is only one piece of the puzzle. Sharks are acutely attuned to vibrations, thanks to a highly developed lateral line system running along their flanks. This network of fluid-filled canals captures the slightest movement in the water, whether it's the frantic flutter of a wounded fish or the distant footfalls of a struggling animal on the surface. Each vibration paints a dynamic picture of the world, allowing sharks to see with their bodies, even in utter darkness. Chemical detection is yet another pillar of their sensory prowess. A shark's sense of smell is legendary. Some species can detect a single drop of blood dispersed in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Their nostrils, positioned beneath the snout, channel water over specialized olfactory cells, sorting through a complex tapestry of scents. This acute chemosensory ability helps sharks track prey over vast distances, following invisible trails through open ocean currents and labyrinthine reefs. Together, these senses form an integrated system, a biological toolkit that enables sharks to thrive in environments where most predators would be blind. Electroreception pinpoints hidden prey, the lateral line system reveals movement, and chemical cues confirm the target. This sensory fusion is the secret to their hunting success, allowing sharks to strike with impeccable timing and precision. Such abilities are not just for predation. Sharks use these senses to communicate, to navigate, and to find mates across the endless blue. In the deep sea, where light is scarce and the unknown reigns, these superpowers are a passport to survival. For millions of years, sharks have patrolled the oceans, guided by senses that bridge the worlds of biology and physics. Their continued existence is a testament to the power of adaptation, a reminder that nature's greatest marvels often lie beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. Far beyond the familiar reefs and coastal shallows, sharks embark on some of the longest and most mysterious migrations in the animal kingdom. These oceanic journeys, spanning thousands of miles, are feats of endurance and navigation that test the very limits of their biology. Species like the great white, the whale shark, and the mako are seasoned voyagers. Tagging studies reveal that a single individual can traverse entire ocean basins, crossing from the cool waters of South Africa to the balmy shores of Australia, or from California's kelp forests to the Hawaiian archipelago. The driving forces behind these odysseys are complex. Seasonal shifts in temperature, the search for food, and the pull of ancient breeding grounds all play a role. But how do sharks navigate these vast, seemingly featureless expanses? Their secret lies in a remarkable internal compass. Scientists believe sharks sense the Earth's magnetic field, using it as a natural map to chart their course across open water. Subtle variations in magnetic intensity, combined with their acute sense of water temperature and salinity, allow them to pinpoint their location with astonishing precision, often returning to the same feeding or pupping sites year after year. Endurance is crucial. These journeys demand constant motion, with some sharks swimming over 40 miles in a single day. During migration, energy conservation becomes an art form. Many sharks slip into a state of near-effortless gliding, using ocean currents to carry them across great distances while minimizing exertion. Yet the open ocean is not without its perils. Migrating sharks face a gauntlet of challenges: unpredictable storms, shifting prey populations, and the ever-present danger of human fishing fleets. Long-line hooks, drifting nets, and plastic debris can turn a life-giving journey into a deadly trap. Despite these obstacles, the drive to migrate endures. Shark migrations are more than instinct. They are the lifeblood of ocean ecosystems, connecting distant habitats and supporting the delicate balance of marine life. Each journey is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of these ancient mariners as they navigate a world in constant motion. In the silent blue depths, the migration of sharks continues, a story written in currents, magnetic fields, and the unbreakable will to survive. As the apex predators of the sea, sharks play a role far greater than their solitary silhouettes suggest. Their presence ripples through the ocean's intricate web of life, shaping ecosystems from the sunlit shallows to the twilight depths. By preying on the sick, weak, or old, sharks maintain the health of fish populations, preventing outbreaks of disease and keeping prey species in balance. This top-down regulation ensures that no single species dominates, preserving the rich tapestry of marine biodiversity. For example, when shark numbers decline, mid-level predators can multiply unchecked, leading to the overgrazing of vital habitats like seagrass meadows and coral reefs. These changes cascade, destabilizing entire ecosystems and threatening the creatures that depend on them. Sharks also influence the very behavior of their prey. The mere presence of a shark alters the movements of fish and marine mammals, preventing overfeeding in sensitive areas and allowing habitats to recover and thrive. In this way, sharks act as stewards, guiding the flow of life across the seafloor and through the open water. Their impact extends to the smallest organisms. By shaping food webs, sharks help regulate populations of plankton-eating fish, indirectly supporting the growth of phytoplankton, the microscopic plants responsible for producing much of the Earth's oxygen and absorbing vast amounts of carbon dioxide. Healthy shark populations are a sign of a thriving ocean. Their decline signals trouble, not just for marine life, but for the planet itself. As guardians of the blue, sharks sustain the balance, diversity, and resilience of our oceans, ensuring that these ancient waters remain vibrant for generations to come. Long before humans walked the earth, the story of sharks began in the ancient seas of the Devonian period, some 400 million years ago. Here, armored fish reigned supreme, and the first true sharks emerged, agile, cartilaginous hunters, with skin like sandpaper and mouths lined with rows of primitive teeth. These early pioneers, Cladocelae and Stethacanthes, were built for speed and stealth, laying the foundation for what would become one of evolution's greatest success stories. As continents drifted and oceans transformed, sharks diversified into an astonishing array of forms. During the Carboniferous and Permian eras, bizarre species like Helicoprion appeared, wielding a spiral saw of teeth in their lower jaws, an evolutionary experiment lost to time. In the shadowy depths, the long-snouted Xenacanthus patrolled ancient swamps, its eel-like body perfectly adapted for freshwater hunting. The end-Permian extinction, the most severe in Earth's history, wiped out much of marine life. Yet sharks endured, survivors in a world of upheaval. In the Mesozoic era, as dinosaurs dominated the land, sharks like Hybodus and Cretoxorhina flourished in the seas. Giant forms arose, the fearsome Megalodon, with jaws wide enough to swallow small whales, and the blade-toothed Scapanorhynchus, ancestor of today's goblin shark. Over millions of years, sharks honed extreme adaptations. Hammerheads evolved wide flatheads, granting them panoramic vision and the ability to sense prey hidden beneath the sand. The thresher shark's elongated tail became a whip to stun schools of fish. In the deep, lantern sharks developed bioluminescent organs to camouflage against the faintest glimmer of light. Through ice ages and mass extinctions, sharks adapted and persisted. Modern marvels like the Greenland shark, capable of living for centuries in near-freezing darkness, and the Mako shark, the fastest in the sea, showcase the lineage's relentless innovation. Each adaptation, from electroreception to regenerative teeth, is a testament to the shark's evolutionary prowess. Today, over 500 species of sharks inhabit our oceans, each a living chapter in a story written across eons. Their legacy is etched not only in ancient fossils, but in the living blue, a lineage shaped by survival, adaptation, and the endless challenge of the deep. The evolution of extreme sharks is nature's masterpiece, a saga still unfolding beneath the waves. As the story of sharks stretches from the distant past into the uncharted future, a new chapter emerges, one shaped not only by nature, but by human ingenuity and global resolve. In research labs and on the open sea, scientists are unlocking the mysteries of shark biology with advanced genetic sequencing, revealing ancient secrets hidden within their DNA. These genetic blueprints hold clues to disease resistance, longevity, and the remarkable healing powers of shark skin, insights that could one day transform medicine and technology. Satellite tagging and AI-driven tracking systems now illuminate the secret highways of the ocean. Shark migrations, once invisible, are mapped in real time, guiding conservationists to critical habitats and breeding grounds. In the depths, robotic submersibles glide silently, capturing footage of elusive species and uncovering new ones, each a piece of the puzzle in the vast tapestry of marine life. Conservation efforts are evolving too. International collaborations, like the creation of expansive marine protected areas and global shark sanctuaries, offer hope for threatened populations. Cutting-edge policies harness big data and blockchain to monitor global fisheries, fighting illegal finning and overfishing with unprecedented precision. Yet the future is not without challenges. Climate change, ocean acidification, and plastic pollution threaten even the most resilient sharks. But innovation brings new tools, biodegradable fishing gear, drone surveillance to prevent bycatch, and coral restoration techniques that help sustain the ecosystems sharks depend on. As we peer into the blue unknown, the potential for discovery is boundless. New species await in the twilight zone. Unknown behaviors lie hidden in the deep. Each revelation brings us closer to understanding sharks not just as relics of the past, but as vital architects of our planet's future. The next era of sharks will be written by the choices we make and the discoveries yet to come. In the dance between science and the sea, hope glimmers, promising that these ancient survivors will continue to shape the oceans for generations to come.